Welcome, you guys, and Happy New Year's to everyone. I know I haven't heard from some of you since last year. I also know that this is some of y'all's first tribal meeting, so welcome to our meeting. My name is Nnakina Xi-Amaru. I am the CEO of Aboriginal Ministry of Justice and founding mother of the Xi-Amaru Republic. I am honored to be of service to you all. Before I get into the topic, I want to encourage those of you who have not signed up to receive general notifications or emails concerning the nation. Make sure to go to the main website and just put in your email over there, and you should be able to just get any general communication that we have. That being said, see here. So let me go into our introduction, but before I do so, I want to share this verse. It says, "Then the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it." Habakkuk 2:2. So that's the mission for tonight. That being said, we will be covering current updates concerning our nation state, the Xi-Amaru Republic, and upcoming in-person events. As some of you may have known, the nation has been in transition period since 2022. We still have the office in Texas. However, primary operations are now in Georgia as we establish our headquarters here. These changes and demands of our nation responsibilities have extended our processing timeline, so that we are aware that some of you receive updates concerning your documents, and they're not, we weren't able to keep those in, that's the word I'm looking for. We weren't able to keep up to date with those because of these transitions. So we do appreciate you guys' patience as we go through these transition. But for those who are here, who either are not citizens yet or considering becoming citizens, the time frame has changed, and you can learn more about those when it comes to going through the process by going to our website. Nevertheless, at this moment, the nation is prioritizing those who started their process last year. They are our top priority at this moment, and of course, our expedited cases. Nevertheless, at this moment, the nation is understaffed. Therefore, communications may take longer than usual. We are also in need of development in other departments to assist with our nation's needs so we can better advocate and defend our Indigenous rights. So that leads us to the Constitution. Go back. So that leads us to our Constitution. We will be going over the Constitution in person and signing the Constitution in April. This will be a private event similar to our Declaration of Independence, which will be taking place either April 21st or April 28th, still to be determined. This will be a paid event for citizens and nationals, $150 per adult, $50 per child. Meal will be included. Tickets go on sale next Tuesday, which is March 5th. Seats will be limited, so keep that in mind. Now, the venue will be in Atlanta, Georgia, but for the safety of our nation, exact location will be disclosed only to those with tickets. Well, until the signing is complete. It is likely that the signing will be filmed, but there will not be any live streams, okay? We will not be live streaming the event. Because of our need to move forward, there will be no amendments of our Constitution until the first term is complete. Therefore, all those who came into our nation before the Constitution will have a choice to make: to remain in the nation after the Constitution goes into effect the following week after the signing, or decide to leave. As those of you who became citizens or nationals of our nation before this year may possess documentation that is now obsolete, since our Declaration of Independence, we have been transitioning on effectively positioning ourselves to move forward as a nation state. So we have now completed the transition process from utilizing outside documentation. However, those who became citizens before this year, 2024, will not be approved to update their documentation until after the signing of the Constitution, as it will be required for us to conduct a proper census of those who are in our nation at the end of this year, so that we can properly allocate taxes collected this year for the year 2025 and the current year we're in. So keep in mind, some of those topics or some of these topics will be covered in our Constitution. Another important discussion is taxation. Taxes are going to be going into effect and collected between June and July of this year. When it comes to taxes, our nation's taxes are going to be based on earning tiers. So a standard fee will be required based on the bracket you are in. More details will be involved in the Constitution. That way, those who are in this nation, who are here before the Constitution signing, can make an informed decision whether or not this is something that they want to move forward with or not. So that is why, we are letting you know that you do have a choice when it comes to if you decide to stay in the nation or not. Now, to support our nation's development, we will be hiring in. So one moment here. To support please keep all questions till the end. If you do have a question, write it down so you don't forget it. But just give me one moment here. To support our nation's development, we will be hiring and training new people. This is also why taxation will play a big role in the advancement in our nation. We need to put people in place to carry out functions to maintain the development of our nation. We will start accepting candidates August through September. Position will be available for in-person and remote jobs. So we're talking about different types of position. When we talk about the departments that we do need to develop, we're talking about people who we're able to invest in towards taxes, learning different areas of government, things of that nature. So those are the opportunities that will be coming up. Now, keep in mind, we are aware that some of these things may be new per se. However, we do think that many people in our nation possess different skills and qualities that can hold or fit into certain positions. So do not disqualify yourself automatically if you feel like, when it comes to the title, it may not apply, but just look through your history and see if there's anything, when it comes to yourself, if you're interested in an opportunity that you think you may be a good role for, and then you can submit your application then. Now, although we are a republic, it is important to understand that because of the size of our nation, we aren't able at this moment to move completely as a republic when it comes to things like voting. Therefore, we will be appointing official leaders of our nation, and they will be handpicked by me. So as the head of the nation, you guys have entrusted me up until this point to do what is best in the best interest of the advancement of the Xi-Amaru Republic. So therefore, at this time, the first group of people who will be holding official position in our nations will be selected and handpicked. However, the inauguration will be in November. We don't know the exact date yet. I will start accepting applications, but I don't know the exact time yet. But we will be accepting applications for those of you who, want to make it, who feel you have skills and experiences that can contribute to different areas and development of the nation. This, at the end of the day, this nation is for all of us. So us contributing together and coming together to make this work and create what we've all been longing for is going to take real effort. So we do want people who are serious about holding position and understand. And we're not here to say that you need to dedicate your whole life, but you will need to dedicate some time and effort. So that is also why taxation is going to play a big role in our people and in our growth, because we also want to make sure that people who hold these positions can be held responsible for the decisions that they make. Therefore, we do have to offer some form of compensation for those roles. However, the amount is yet to be determined. Now, that being said, when it comes to our nation, let me see here. Let me go over. So when we talk about upcoming events, I would like to say these are more so it says organized events and gathering. These are more so general. So they can be formal, informal, where tribal members are offering, you know, their own desire to connect, because I know that's something that's very important. I think most of us, or if not all of us, signed up for the community side of things. So we do want to encourage those of you who want to get to know people in your area, and also connect with people outside of our area, and give them some form of understanding of what it is to be a Xi-Amaru. But that being said, the nation itself will not take any responsibility in organizing these semi-formal or informal events, but we will offer tribal members the opportunity to utilize the nation's resources to broadcast upcoming organized gathering in different areas. So what that means is basically, let's say you decide to organize something, or maybe meet up at something like a bowling alley or something, where you feel like, you know what, I want to invite tribal members, see if there's people in my area, to get them to come out. And then we can send out that communication. But we do need to know at least 3 days in advance. And you will need to email us the details on a flyer to events with an S at Aboriginal Ministry of Justice.org, so that we can send that out. And I do encourage you all to be creative. These things should not become complicated, and can be exclusively for tribal members, or both. It can be tribal members and the public. So you don't have to stay within one box, because we are a growing nation. Now, just an example of this, we're also me personally, in June, I will be organizing a semi-formal dinner for tribal members here in Georgia to just come out. However, everyone will be responsible for themselves. So I hope that is a good idea for some of the things you can possibly organize in your own area without breaking the bank, right? Where you can say, okay, well, if there's tribal members here, then let's just get together, go somewhere, whatever, just connect. So something like that. Now, our nation is growing, but it's time for us to become intentional about what we want our nation to mean for us, and what we want to put out here in this world. Being a Xi-Amaru, at the end of the day, we are rebuilding and reintroducing ourselves to the world as Indigenous people. So we are defining what it truly means for us and the world, what it means for us to be Indigenous people. So we shouldn't take that lightly. The Xi-Amaru Republic was established for us to build communities. We do ourselves a disservice by not utilizing systems to change the world around us. It is time to show the world around us what it means to be a Xi-Amaru. And then, of course, other things may pop up, but the one thing that we know for sure is December 17th is our Independence Day. We have not yet decided if we will be hosting anything. However, I just think it was very important to mention, since this is our first meeting of the year. And if anything does come up, it will be organized, and you guys will be notified via email if we do decide to do something together as a community. But that being said, let's make this year count, guys. For those of us who came here in this meeting, thank you for your time, and the floor is open. Does anyone have any question, any feedback? That's pretty much it on our end. And let's see here. Welcome, Kansa. Welcome. Go ahead. I see your hand up.
My question is, if I'm part of the nation, me, my kids, but my husband is not, how does that work?
That's a great question. So your children and you are still covered in the nation, so you have to think about jurisdiction. However, I do want to mention that we're going to speak on this generally, but I do want to mention that the meeting rules will be going out. That way, you guys are aware on what tribal meetings are for. But that being said, when it comes to you, we're here to make sure that when it comes to those who are in our nation, who chose to be in our nation, are covered. So when it comes to you and your children, we are here to advocate for your rights. When it comes to your spouse, if they do this, they do have eligibility, of course, if you are in here, whether it's through them being a part of the Americas or if it's through being married to you. So if there's any personal reasons that they haven't joined, then, or they don't simply want to join, then there's no issues on that. But we do encourage Indigenous families to come together. That way we can make sure that we can protect everyone accordingly. But I hope that answers your question.
Oh, I'm sorry. I meant as far as like events, would they be able to
Oh,
come or
they
like
would.
meet?
Yeah, okay, I got you. I got you. Unfortunately, anyone who comes to the events, they do have to be either a national or a citizen. So they would have to go through, and that's just to make sure that we're securing our nation as good as best as we can. So they would have to at least do the screening. That's what that means.
Okay.
Okay. And I see someone else's hand is up. JS.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, sorry. That is one of my questions. How do I change my name on here?
Okay.
My name is Jason.
Oh, hey, Jason.
Hey, how are you? um, so I do have a question about, knowing who is in our area. Is there like a list of, we could say, okay, these certain people are in our area, or we just ask during the travel meetings?
I mean, you can ask. We do. So I don't know when you came in. That is something that we were trying to do, but keep in mind, guys, this is your nation. Therefore, whatever you see isn't here. You can feel free to create a private part of that. Don't rely on the nation itself to be everything. This is our thing. So if you feel like there's something now, again, our nation, we do want to develop certain things to make sure that we have them in place. But even when it comes to developing businesses, you guys need to start thinking outside the box. Okay, we're not just here saying get one business. No, we create what we need. Utilize your system to create what we need, because guess what? You're missing out on many different opportunities by not taking advantage of what we need, because although it may be small now, if you are one of the first to do it, you want to establish yourself as a credible party, and therefore the nation itself will come to you. So who knows what that will mean 2 years, 3, 5 years from now. So keep that in mind.
And if I could, just one more quick question,
Go
because
ahead.
the last question made me think of this. So, so do we have like some sort of like tribal marriage certificate, or a way to have an official marriage certificate that is outside of the jurisdiction of the state?
At this time, no. We do have, we will establish that. That is why we were talking about. So right now, what we are discussing in this meeting is things that we really need to get in place to properly get other things in place.
Right.
Okay, so that's why we're talking about the Constitution, because again, our Constitution is our law. So we have to have that so that we can build out those other things. But they are possible. I want to put that out there. Yes, we can definitely have our own nations, whatever it is that we want to do as Indigenous people, but we do have to take steps and do that correctly so that we are on a solid foundation when we move as a whole. But those are definitely things that we do want to take, seriously, because we do want families and everything to be connected and protected under our jurisdiction. So that is why we have to make these things top priority. And that is why, again, guys, for those who are just coming in, signing of the Constitution is coming up in April, and this meeting will be available for viewing after. And for those who aren't here and will be watching later, please make time for tribal meetings whenever you can, even though you're not obligated to show up. Now, I see whoever hand went up first, you can go, whether it's Gabrielle or James. James, you're on mute, so you may want to.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about the driver's license, like how we supposed to apply for the driver's license if we already get our credentials and stuff.
That's a great question. So you can go to the main website. Let me go here. Now,
turn left into the parking lot.
Let me share this tab. So if you come to the main website, it should look like this. Just confirm. Can somebody give me a thumbs up that they can see our website? You guys see it? Thank you. Thank you. So where we have services, you can always go. Now, keep in mind, it will look different depending if you're logged in or not. But for the most part, under services, all you have to do is click all services, and it will show you what we currently have to offer. Okay. So you just come down here, and you will see that it says tribal credentials. Okay. Here you'll be able to, now keep in mind, this is where you come if you need to reorder your IDs, if your IDs get lost or damaged, things of that nature, you will have to reorder them by going to the website. That's how that works. Okay. And Gabrielle, I saw your hand is up. Hey, sister, how are you?
Hey sis, how are you? I was just getting a little clarification since being a member since back, 2 years ago. You were saying that like our credentials and like our IDs and all of that, because I know it all has the Houston information on there. So are you saying that that's going to be voided? I didn't quite understand what you meant by that.
That's a great point. So no, your IDs are still, we're more so referring to the honor document, the other jurisdiction documentation that we were providing before, just to make sure that everyone was functional. But your IDs, nevertheless, are still functional. The only thing is that some of the documentation before are not, well, they weren't as functional as we needed them to be. Therefore, they do not exist anymore in our system. So that being said, if someone like yourself who were in the nation from the beginning stages, you will need to get your documents updated. But the only thing is, the reason why we have the restriction right now where because again, we want to make sure that you are making a conscious decision to be in the nation. So we want to make sure that when you do decide to get your documentation, that you are in agreement with our Constitution. Therefore, you're not feeling like you were dragged into anything. So that is the only reason why we're saying that you kind of have to wait for the Constitution. Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll have the final date, I guess, soon about those April dates?
Yes. The goal is to get that. It's just right now we're working to secure the venue and things of that nature. But yeah, but overall, it's going to be one of those.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that understanding.
Who else has a question? I see. Okay. One more question. So, okay, go ahead. Akita? Is it by, I don't want to mess it up.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, can you send me the information as well as far as the license plate?
Okay, so that's one of the things that's important for you guys to understand. So when we talk about the departments that we have to develop, it's important to understand that one, our nation is 1 year and some change into her existence. So we do have, and this is why we're talking about putting officials in place, different things in place, because we want to make sure that the people that will be handling certain things are doing the necessary research. Right now, the burden of our nation lies in pretty much most of my shoulders. So we have to distribute that if we want to be a functional nation. And because we want to make sure that when it comes, so the only thing that we do currently provide as a nation is driver's license. And that is because, again, that's something that we can handle as a nation. Of course, our goal is when we start to implement taxation, things of that nature, we are able to take on more weight. But for our safety and our security, we have to think about what can the nation take on at this time. So just because we can issue some form of plates, we're not doing that at this time. So that is why we have to get these things that we're discussing in place. But again, you do have access to your credentials where you can request to pretty much have your tribal driver's license to show that you are a part of another jurisdiction. Therefore, certain rules and regulations don't apply to you. But I will definitely send that over to you. But I really want you guys this year, I really want you guys to think about what is it going to mean to you being a part of this nation? What position or what place? And we will be taking on volunteers as well moving forward for those who, may not want to necessarily hold a position, but feel like there's something that they can contribute. But we're going to be moving in that space once we get these things together, because we want to make sure that, again, the foundation is very important if we want to do this correct, and unfortunately at this time, we kind of have to move slow, but it's because we have to make sure that we are able to stand not just now, but years to come. So that being said, I will definitely get you that information. And that is, well, we have about 2 more minutes. Let me check the chat. I think I got everybody's question, but keep in mind, guys, tickets are going to be available on Tuesday when it comes to the signing. As you guys already know, we don't do anything just anyway. So if you do want to attend this historical meeting of our nation, I encourage you guys to make some time to come out and be there. We're going to be reviewing the Constitution. It's going to be more so around the evening time, so probably 6 to about 10, something like that. But it's going to be, of course, whatever we do, we got to do it with class. So make sure to know you got to come out with your best as well. And I see one more hand. I'm going to take one more question. Go ahead. Kat. Your hand is up, but we cannot hear you. I don't know if you're on mute. Okay. Well. Okay, well, I guess that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this meeting. I'm looking forward to those who will come to the signing. It's just a couple weeks away now. It's going to be a powerful event. And of course, we're going to have it recorded and filmed. But again, location will only be disclosed to those who actually have tickets. That's only for the safety of our nation. And yeah. But again, no streaming will be there. So you have to be there in person or wait till, the video is up. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Okay, no problem. Well, you guys have a great night. Thank you all for coming in, and we appreciate y'all's support. Have a good one, everybody. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.